What is up, soccer friends? Welcome to Kickback Committee. We are glad you're here. I'm Susannah Fuller alongside a very, very special co-host today. I am so freaking thrilled to welcome the extraordinary Claudia Pagán to Kickback Committee. Now, we've seen you on the happy hours, Claudia, but we realized this is your first actual committee podcast.
Finally.
She got the call up, guys.
We started Kickback, like July? July?
Yeah, July, I think.
I'm so excited.
I kind of hate that it's taken this long.
No, I've got to be part of so many happy hours, which, I love having my little drink and kicking back with a Kickback Committee. But I get to be a part of the earlier week episode, and I'm so excited, Sooz.
I'm so stoked that you're here. You've also been incredibly busy doing your thing with CBS, which is so fabulous to watch. So this is gonna be such a fun show. And so Goss is doing his thing right now. I think his sister's wedding was this weekend, so we're letting him enjoy some family time. But I'm super excited for this because Claudia, I don't know if people really know. I talk about my husband Ian a lot on this podcast because he's the head coach of One Knox, but Claudia is also a WAG, y'all. She is also a WAG. Her husband Luke is what is his official title with San Diego?
His official title is Head of Human Performance for San Diego, which is I remember when I first heard it, I was like, what? I think we just make up titles in sports. Like, whatever you want to do, just squish a bunch of words together. And I'm like, what is that? So he works with the first team. He's in charge of all the people that help keep I never know how to explain this, to help keep the players healthy, fit, if they're injured, work them through injuries. So all the physical trainers and all those people. And then he works with the doctors, for the players if they need surgery or whatever it is. So he is in charge of making sure that the players are fit and healthy and recovering from injury in the best way possible. So he has a very, very important job.
I was going to say that might be the most important job. If you're not healthy, you can't play. So he's shouldering quite a lot of responsibility. I'm really excited to chat more on this, but we have such a fun episode in store. Like I said, it was a big night for both of our hubbies this weekend. So we are going to talk all about San Diego's big win over Portland. And of course, One Knox punching their ticket to the USL League 1 Final after taking down Naples this weekend. That was amazing. We're going to look ahead to 2026. Obviously, I'm very glad. This is so appropriate that you're here today, Claudia, because there she is. She's back. She popped back in. Kit releases. We're going to go through some of our favorite kit releases because Adidas has unveiled a handful of their World Cup kits. And so you and I are going to weigh in. And I know you are the ultimate kit fashionista, so I'm very much looking forward to hearing you weigh in on some of those. We've got another international break, kids. I feel like they come hot and fast.
Literally, every single week is international break.
Wait, what? Another one? Okay. So we've got more World Cup qualifiers on the docket. We're going to hit on some of the big storylines to follow. The U.S. has a couple more friendlies because that's how we're doing it these days against Paraguay and Uruguay, and we're gonna consult the RIZZ meter, Claudia. Again, we did this with Doyle a few months ago, just kind of checking in on the RIZZ of a few of these players that were called into this November camp, and so that's gonna be a fun little segment.
Love that.
And of course, we're gonna just kind of take you all around the world of soccer in North America and tell you all the exciting things that happened because it was a cray-cray weekend of soccer action. But I want to start out with WAG Life, #WAG Life with Claudia Pagán. So as she mentioned, Luke is the most important part of the staff at San Diego. It's clearly being in charge of everyone's fitness, but you're in San Diego right now. You also live in Connecticut because you have to do the Golazo job, which is based in Stamford, Connecticut, which I know all too well. And I know all too well about doing the whole long distance.
Yes, so you do.
My sincere, I don't want to say apologies because it's not it's not the worst thing, but it's really, really hard. So I feel for you. But I don't think I've ever asked you this question. How did you meet Luke?
Oh my goodness. He's English. So it's funny. He always jokes. He's like, "Did you just marry me for my accent?" And I'm like,
Probably.
not just that, but it is a big part of it. Not gonna lie. Like, hello, I just love hearing you speak all the time. So he came over with Wayne Rooney to DC United. So he was working at Derby County with Wayne. And then when Wayne took the job as head coach of DC United a couple of years ago, my husband, Luke, came over with him. And it was a while before we started dating, but we met while at DC United. And then when Wayne went back over to England, my husband stayed over here to be with me. I was like,
wait, so your Luke was like, sorry, Wayne. Sorry, Waza. Claudia.
I'm staying with Claudia.
It's all about Claudia. Oh my God, this is amazing. Like, that is such a flex. Like, your husband chose you, as he should, by the way. But
Wayne,
like,
Claudia.
That, I mean, forever. Like, you can just kind of like rest on that for the rest of your life. It's
100%, 100%. So we do have Wayne to thank, I guess, for introducing us. So thank you, Wayne. Thank you.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Do you remember your first interaction with him?
I do, because I didn't know he was coming. So like Wayne took the job, what was it, summer of 2022, but then my husband finished out. He stayed with Derby County for a little bit longer, so he didn't come until January 2023. And then I didn't know he was coming. Like, the club hadn't announced it. So I was the team, for those of you that don't know, I was a team reporter for DC United for nearly a decade. So I come in first day of preseason and I see, who is now my husband, in the gym. He's got this crazy curly hair. In my head, I'm like, who are you? I'm like, who are you? I've never seen your face before. I didn't know we had new staff coming. So in my head, I'm like, who the hell are you? But I was like, hi, I'm Claudia. Nice to meet you. I don't think I've introduced myself. I was like, who the hell is this dude? Like, he's just walking around the gym at the training facility. And it's funny. He laughed really hard the first time I told him that, and then would bring it up after a while. He's like, remember your first thoughts of me? I was like, I'm so sorry. So that's exactly how it played out. And look at us now.
And look at you now. Look at you. Was it like a friends first type of thing?
Oh yeah.
Were you just kind of like feeling each other out?
That's exactly what, just getting the season started and just like friends, just like always seeing him because I was always at the training facility as well. So, yeah, just friends first. And then here we are a couple of years later. And, so we were both at DC United for a while together. And then he got the job with San Diego because then he stayed. Once Wayne left, he stayed with TC for a season longer. He got the job with San Diego. So we were living together in Virginia, and I was getting ready. I was getting all the moving quotes and everything to move to San Diego. Cause by that time I was already a full-time freelancer. So I was freelancing with DC United, but doing stuff with Golazo Network, getting to work with you, Sooz. And I was getting my moving quote, everything for San Diego. And then CBS was like, hey, actually we want to offer you a full-time position. I was like, oh, well, okay. Really?
Man.
So we are a coast to coast couple, San Diego, California, Stamford, Connecticut. I don't think we could be further apart.
You are literally on opposite ends of the country.
Oh my gosh. So
literally.
But I will say, when I get to visit him in San Diego, I'm fully off because like there's no way I can really do my job with Golazo Network. And I'm like, this is not a bad place to visit. Like, you picked a really good spot for me to come vacation. And he'll come over like once or twice a year over to Connecticut. And I was like, you know what? I actually prefer coming to you than you coming to me. He's like, of course you do. Because when I'm here visiting you, you're still working. You get to be full-time vacation when you come visit me in San Diego. I was like, can you blame me?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So what does the off season look like then? Because I mean, obviously we want San Diego to go as far as they possibly can in the MLS Cup playoffs, but will he come to spend time in CT?
Yes. So he's coming second week of December. We're going to spend a week together. This will be the most that we'll have spent together in over a year. It's insane. And we got legally married in June, but we're having our ceremony with friends and family in Puerto Rico in December. So
amazing.
we're getting married, I guess, shall I say again, in December. A typical MLS wedding, shall I say. I feel like everybody in
100%.
MLS gets married in December. You did.
Yep, absolutely. December 22nd is our anniversary.
See?
Every single person involved in MLS or soccer in North America has to get married in that
December.
that sort of like December, January window. Like that's
that's
it.
In like those 2 to 3 weeks, because I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I was like in January of this year, I was like, okay, what are the chances San Diego make it to the final, which is the second weekend, right? First weekend of December. And I was like, okay, we can't plan for that. So we've got like 3 weeks to work with, one of them being Christmas week. So I can't do that. So you have a very small window to work with. So yeah, he'll come second weekend of December. We'll get married in Puerto Rico, spend time back on the East Coast, spend it with my family. So
you're making it work.
I'll soak it up.
You're making it work, girl. And you guys are both thriving, which is just awesome to see. I'm very curious because I know with Ian, my husband, it's so interesting, the dynamic of us being like working in this sport and then our spouses then being so entrenched, especially with a team. And I feel like there's a fine line sometimes that has to be like walked very, very carefully of being like the supportive spouse, but then also being the media member, which obviously we are devoted wives. We're not going to like spill the secrets, but like how do you kind of handle those situations? And how is he with you? In those moments? Because I'm sure he's privy to a lot of information.
Oh, everything. I know things about San Diego before it comes out in the media, or maybe things don't even come out in the media, or why decisions were made, or all that stuff. Cause like, obviously, like with your spouse, like you're the one that they rely on and lean on just to like, if they need to vent or if they're stressed. Like there was one point during the season, maybe like halfway through the season this year, where they had like so many injuries and he was just super stressed because obviously that falls on him. That's literally the most stressful. I was like, listen, you're going to be okay. Just get through it. That's the most important thing. Exactly. So like we're privy to a lot of information, and like I was privy to a lot of information when I was at DC United to begin with, and I would have to figure out how to separate that. Like when I would be with CBS, like what I could say, what I couldn't say. But I feel like I'm privy now to even more information at San Diego also because they're doing so well. Like everybody wants to talk more about them. Like I'll say they're more in the media than I guess maybe DC United was, but it also is because of how well they're doing. And then,
and first season in the league. Yeah.
Exactly.
A lot of attention.
A lot of attention. So I am privy to a lot of information. And especially like when you get to like the Chucky Lozano situation, which happened recently, like everybody was like, Claudia, what's going on? I was like, I'm not going to tell you. Like, but then, so like that was kind of the first time where I was like, okay, let me be careful with what I'm going to say, because what does the media know versus what do I know? So I remember Tom Bogert, he wasn't actually asking me like what was up, but he was just like, hey Claudia, like what's going on?
He was trying to turn you into a source, wasn't he? Tommy Scoops, that dog.
Tommy Scoops, but he was just joking. He's like, hey, what's going on? And I was like, I can't tell you, Tom, but it's so funny. I was like, oh, that's what he was like, what's going on? I was like, well, what do you know? I was like, let me start with where you know, and what does the media know? So I know what I can say. But it's funny, every time Tom Bogert is working on morning footy and he leaves his laptop open, I like jokingly peek around. I'm like, what are you about to tweet? And I'll jokingly go tweet it before you do. But yeah, so it's difficult. Like you're privy to so much information and you have to know, what does the media know? And then like CBS was good because sometimes like maybe they would default more to Tom on the San Diego situation, something like that, as opposed to me, because they're like, all right, like we know.
It's not fair to put you in.
Right. Like what a guy like Tom Bogert can speak on, he's been told by people from the club. So yeah, like I'll always keep that information sensitive, like, that's important. That's important to us as like the wives that
100%.
are in the know. Like there's the balance of being the wife and knowing what you know versus what can I report on in the media. So yeah, that's like one of the hardest things.
I 100% agree. To a much lesser degree in USL League One, there's not nearly as many eyeballs on this league. But yeah, you have those conversations, dinner conversations, and we're talking about what's going on with the club and the players and stuff. And then I do have these moments where I'm like, I have to realize like this is, these are confidential conversations. Like this is not like you can't, because the inclination is like, oh my gosh, like you wouldn't believe this, and it's like, oh no, we can't. We gotta keep that in the vault. In the vault it goes. The WAG vault, as they say. No, it's an amazing dynamic, but it's not without its challenges, as you certainly alluded to. I'm curious. So this was a huge weekend for San Diego, who absolutely annihilated Portland at the weekend 4-0. You, my friend, were at the match. I'm very curious to hear what it's like for you, as a spouse, how it is when you guys get home. Like, does Luke want to like talk about the game? Like, just kind of like take us into your lives and what that night was like.
Yeah. So, oh my goodness, yesterday, obviously you understand, you're just like stressed. You're stressed the entire game. And I know you've talked about how stressed you are and how Ian gets in the car and he goes, I don't want to talk about it. You know what? Actually, what about this, and this? And I think that's hilarious. Typical men, typical head coaches right there. I don't want to talk about it, but I want to talk about it. Yesterday was the least stressful game, thank God, because San Diego was up 2-0 like very early on. I did start getting a little bit nervous when after they scored that second goal, then they were just letting Portland have the ball. I'm like, what's going on here? Like this game should have been done
take care
last game,
boys.
Right? Like we shouldn't even be in game 3. This should have been easy for us, but I think it does help because with the international break, like MLS playoffs, the next round isn't until like Thanksgiving week or like that weekend before. So they've got 2 weeks and that's like, it kind of like kills the momentum. So actually, I think some people were actually not happy to go to game 3, but like, it's not that bad of a scenario because then you have another 90 minutes under your belt. Your players continue to stay in shape. Whereas if they had won last weekend, the weekend before, then it would have been 3 weeks exactly of just training and not having a full game under your belt when all you've done is play games since February. So I think in that scenario, it does actually work pretty well. So less time spent not playing a full 90. So I think that was good, but, it was absolutely amazing. Let me tell you, the fan base here in San Diego, they show up. They show up. The fans here are amazing. Like the traveling, I wish I could see, like, I would like to know the numbers of traveling fan base for like across MLS because San Diego, like my husband would say, like there was a huge traveling fan base for their away games, like every single away game, which is absolutely amazing. Like that's what you want. Like people here have really bought in. And I'm just so confused how San Diego has like their NFL team got moved to LA. Like they don't have a basketball team here. Like they never had like an MLS first level top tier soccer. I'm like, how? Like the city is amazing. It's a great place to live in. Like the fans, like soccer fans here were just like starving. And I know we did have San Diego Loyal here. And it's very nice that, a lot of the people that worked with the Loyal, you'll see them now working with San Diego FC in like, in the front office and stuff. So it's nice to see how that has worked out. They've kept that going here with the soccer fan base. So yeah, I think these people were like, sports fans are just starving for sports here. And so they've just grabbed onto it. So, oh my goodness, Sooz, I need them to continue in playoffs.
I know. Isn't it amazing how like personally invested you get? Like it's like it's because and people are like, well, it's sports, and I'm like, no, it's actually our lives. Like it's
lives. People can get
to our lives.
People can get like fired
I
over
know.
this? Like,
I know. I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like, this is actually major. It's
oh my
major, okay?
goodness.
Oh my God.
And then
That
we'll have like a little debrief on the way home of like, okay, like what players got injured, or I always ask like, how was the locker room? How was Mikey in the locker room afterwards? The fans here love the head coach, Mikey Varas.
as they
He's
should.
amazing. He's amazing.
Also, low-key kind of snubbed for Coach of the Year. No disrespect to Bradley Carnell, who has done
Yes.
so phenomenally well. But I thought getting third, I was like, wait, I'm sorry, what?
When
In
we
your
said
first season in
who was second?
existence?
Who was second? Vancouver coach.
Who has also been awesome.
Yes.
But like, yeah, I don't know. I would guess I was just a little
See,
shocked.
I say that kind of stuff and I'm like, am I biased? Because I also like see the inner workings of like how the team has been like throughout the entire
Certainly.
season. And I'm like, am I biased here? I also, has MLS MVP come out? If it hasn't, I know it's going to be messy.
I don't
I
think
know
so.
it's going to be messy.
Of course it's going to be messy.
But I'm like, it should be Anders Dreyer for San Diego. Like, bro, what he has been able to do for this team.
From the first game, by the way, like literally like all season long, that guy has been absolutely lights out. So
If
I
I'm
think,
not,
isn't it interesting though, like with an expansion side too, like how the expectation can be so low to start, and then like that's I think
yes.
that's what's so impressive about what San Diego has done, is that like, you know, everyone's like, well, in year one, you know, like I don't know, I would love to see like all the experts like picks
Yeah.
as to where they would finish, and I guarantee you nobody saw them like
Everybody had them like in 14th, like last
know.
place.
Exactly. And so that for that reason as well, I think like guys like Anders Dyer and Mikey Varas should get way more flowers
Way more
than they
recognition.
have.
Yeah.
And
It's
Luke, obviously.
that's my MLS MVP of the year. That's my MVP
That's
right
the one
there.
that matters, Claudia.
Exactly.
Oh my God. It's so much fun. It's such a wild existence. And this is such an incredible time of year to be living that sort of wag life. So over the weekend, One Knox punched their ticket to the USL League 1 Final. They beat Naples 1-0 in a game that was way too close for my liking. It was, I mean, it was, there were so many chances. The first half, One Knox looked so good and like created so many chances, and I was like, okay, like the goals are coming. And then the second half started, and suddenly FC Naples were on the front foot, and I was like, no, here we go. And then it was one of those, so they got their goal. One Knox got their goal in like, I don't know, it was like maybe almost the 70th minute. And it was one of those where like you didn't really see it coming. Like there was like they weren't playing that well, and then they just kind of created something like out of nothing, and it ended up being enough. But I will tell you, those last like 15 minutes were excruciating. My parents are in town right now, and they were like, are you okay? Like, and I was so stressed out, and they were just like, oh my God, Susannah, like, I'm like, no, like,
how are you during the game? Are you someone who's like focused and like can't like have conversations with people during the game? You're just focused on it.
I'm like locked in completely, and very like, I try not to be like overly emotional, but I like internalize it. And so there's a lot of like throwing my head in my hands and like covering my eyes. And yeah, it gets a little dramatic. I'm sure anybody watching me would be like, you listen, girl, you need to get your shit together.
That's how I am. I scream. And there was a point, like, I'm in the area where there's like families and stuff and like spouses or like injured players. And I was right next to one of the injured players, and I turned to him. I was like, I'm so sorry. I know I'm screaming so loud. He's like, it's okay. I'm like, I know you just want to yell back at me because I'm so loud. So I had to like quiet down. But I was going to ask, were you watching, like, are you around like other spouses, or are you like with fans? Like,
yeah. So I have the option of like sitting up in like one of the like boxes, but it's not the best view of the pitch. So I like to be right at midfield. I like to and so I'm typically around, like, there's usually maybe a couple like family members, like some parents, of the players that are around. The assistant coach's wife, she sits around there as well, but like it's mostly like fans, and so I
Yeah.
just kind of like hunker down and try not to draw attention to myself. And I'm sure I do a terrible job of that because I'm so emotional. But it was, I mean, this weekend it was unbelievable. I just am like, I'm like, holy cow, like, how did we get here? You know, like, it's like all of a sudden, like you said, it's boom, boom, boom with these playoffs in USL and in NWSL. Like, it's single elimination. So suddenly
quick.
it's the final, and we're playing in the final, and they're going to play Spokane, who like had a crazy game on Sunday night to get to the final. This is going to be their second final in a row, and they are a very good team. They're very well organized. I think One Knox they drew with them 2-2 their very first game of the season, and then they beat them, I think, 1-0 at home this summer. And so they've got a decent record against them. And I think one of the big advantages is that Spokane, the travel that they have had to endure over the last stretch of the season has been, because they are way on the West Coast. So they've got to fly to Knoxville. They also, their game last night went to PKs. So they played like extra time, PKs, it's been emotionally draining for them. They've had 2 games, I think, that's gone to PKs. So like, they are, in that sense, I would be like, oh, One Knox has, you know, a little bit of an advantage, but you know, it's a final. Like, literally anything can happen. But it's just so amazing. Like, Knoxville really turned up for the semifinal, and it was just so cool to like watch the guys celebrating on the field and the fans celebrating in the stands. And it's still such a young club, and you know, they're still kind of establishing themselves as in the soccer space. And so it's just, I'm so proud of Ian. I'm so proud of the guys, like how they have approached this season, and for them to like have the payoff of playing in a final in front of their fans is just like icing on the cake. It truly, like, year one here could not have been better for that. So it's been awesome. I am going check in with me next weekend, because I'm sure I'll be an absolute disaster. The final is on Sunday, and I'm literally already like
tensed, sweating, thinking about it.
I'm gonna start sweating right now thinking about it.
Oh God. But it's hard. We were talking about it, like MLS round 1 is the only one where it's the best of 3, which like sucks in the sense of like they're playing a lot more games, but like we also say, like, the reason why my husband kind of likes it is because the best team will probably end up going through, whereas when you play just one game,
it's true,
anything can happen. So like the fact that your games have just been one game elimination, like that's hard. Like if you mess up in this game and like someone scores on you, like you can go. I mean, you look at NWSL, the fact that KC Current got beat by Gotham. I get to cover semifinals, and I was told, okay, with CBS, which is so exciting. And I kept getting told, okay, you'll probably be going to KC for one of the semifinals to do coverage. Boom. I was getting ready for KC. Boom. Freaking Gotham won. Like anything can happen in one game of playoffs.
It's crazy. I love that you said that too, about how Luke kind of views those 3-game first round of the playoffs, because as a supporter or as a fan, like, you're like, man, it just feels like you're like dragging this out. But I completely see his point that you're right. Like the best team does probably go through. Except maybe in the case of Minnesota, who is San Diego's appointment, or they're going to face them in the conference semis. I feel like Minnesota got a little bit.
They never won.
A little bit lucky.
They didn't win either one of their 2 games outright. It went straight to PKs.
Yeah, there's some kind of horseshoe going on over there, because the Post has been their friend.
But
through first series.
they're a frustrating opponent. I think it was actually last time I was here in San Diego and watched a game, and Minnesota was here for a regular season game, and they beat San Diego despite San Diego having been the better team for the majority of the game. Like, Minnesota is just such a frustrating team that you don't know what you're going to get. And now that the next round of MLS Playoffs is all just one game from now on, like, you have to be careful against this Minnesota team. And you better freaking practice your PKs.
Practice your PKs, exactly. And, like, honestly, like, try to expose them on the counter, because that's really all you're going to get the way that they have been playing. They've just been kind of sitting back. So it's going to be, I believe in San Diego. I feel like I feel like if there is a team that is equipped to kind of break that down, San Diego can do it. I will, and so you'll be able to go to that.
I'll be here.
Okay. Oh, good. Thank God.
So
they need
excited.
you. They need you, Claudia.
Oh, I'm so excited. It's and if and when, let me speak it out there, when they get past them, it's either Vancouver or LAFC. So, like,
can we talk about these semifinals though? Because, like, it actually, like, the conference semis are going to be insane, because, okay, so as we mentioned, we have San Diego facing Minnesota, Vancouver versus LAFC, wild bananas, Cincinnati versus Inter Miami, and Philadelphia versus NYCFC. So it's like, I all of a sudden I was looking at the schedule and I was like, okay, MLS, you have my attention. Thank you.
Isn't it amazing?
All kinds of fun.
So on the West, this is where we say, like, is like best of three series good, because in the West, seeds 1 through 4 went through, and in the East, 1, 2, 3, and 5, because NYC FC beat number 4 Charlotte, right? I think Charlotte was 4. So that's where you can argue that maybe it is good for best of 3. Because then you get, like, you make sure that the good teams get through. I can't stop thinking about the fact that New York Red Bulls got to the final last year. That didn't make any sense to me.
And the Galaxy. What?
That didn't make any sense.
Like, what bizarro world are we living in where, like, they were 2 of the most dire teams this season? I mean, it's nuts.
But you know what? Recently, we just looked back at the anniversary of the 2022 MLS final, which was Philadelphia Union versus LAFC.
Yep.
With what's his name? Gareth Bale.
The Gareth Bale game.
See, that's what you want for a final. Oh. Those were the 2 best teams in the league the entire year. That's what you want.
I was there. That was the last MLS Cup that I covered. And I just remember being slack-jawed. Like, just like, I cannot believe this is happening in front of me. It was absolutely insane. And I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like we're setting ourselves up for some kind of, like, huge dramatic final, and it's going to be amazing. I'm so stoked for these conference semis. So you mentioned it, Claudia, NWSL chaos. Okay.
I love it.
Casey Current, man. What the heck happened? I honestly, I thought there was no way in hell that this team was not going to be playing in a final. They broke every freaking record this year.
Like, and this was your year.
I am, like,
even Aaron West, whose wife is GM of Gotham.
Yes,
we did a segment on Morning Footy where he went through his picks and he said, "I'm sorry, but I need to give Casey Curran the edge over." He didn't even have Gotham beating Casey Curran, and he's the one who's most in the know. Nobody.
Except for Christine Cupo.
I was going to say, let's give some props to Cupo. I don't know how.
Christine Cupo is the only one. Honestly, she might, like, win the whole bracket challenge, because, like, everybody's bracket, I guarantee you, had Casey Current going all the way.
If I made one, it would have been Casey Current, yeah.
2-1 loss in extra time to Gotham, who were the 8th seed. Do you think this is the biggest upset we've ever seen in NWSL?
I would say so.
Casey, it has to be, right?
Casey Current, did they, I wish I knew, like, how many games they lost, but there was, like, a huge stretch where they didn't even let a goal. Like, they were breaking records. Let me see if I can find.
I think they only allowed, like, 12 or 13 goals all season.
It's insane.
Which is nuts.
Why is
At
that?
home too. Like they were at home.
But you know what? I feel like we see this every year, like
I know.
in all different types of leagues. And like we were just talking about MLS, so you can even bring in MLS as well. Like Supporters Shield winners never end up really becoming
No.
like even going to the playoffs. Like I feel like you see this all the time. And I think lots of people also talk about, well, I was going to say lots of people talk about the form going into playoffs, and their form was so good. I don't know. Is it just like you exhaust yourself going into the playoffs? Like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Like, why is it the playoffs where you lose?
I don't know. And it's like, yeah, is it a mentality thing? But then you're like, how can you go through an entire season being so absolutely dominant and then you get to the playoffs and like take your foot off the pedal? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever, you know?
But Gotham were gaining form. Gotham were gaining form, like going into the postseason.
Yep. No disrespect. Yeah. Okay, so now, because we also saw one of the other favorites, the Washington Spirit. Sorry, Douglas, our dear producer, who is a diehard Washington Spirit fan. They barely were able to get through Louisville. Okay, and I know Trinity Rodman was on the bench for this one. They've got so much talent, so much firepower. But would you say, like, I would argue that a team like Gotham, who just beat, like, hands down the odds-on favorite,
8 seed beating number 1
now
seed.
Suddenly have like that momentum. Like I could see them of the teams left. So we've got Portland beat San Diego, Orlando beat Seattle, Washington beat Washington, Portland, Orlando, Gotham. Those are going to be the semifinals. Of the teams that are remaining, I would argue that beating the number 1 seed, being the best team in the league, suddenly gives you that
momentum, the confidence, 100%. You take down that anybody going up KC Current, like that was always going to be your toughest opponent no matter what. And now the fact that you have taken them down, if you don't take that confidence and run with it, like I hate saying this when Spirit's in, but I think Gotham.
But keep in mind too, like Gotham are only like 2 seasons removed from winning it all. Like they know how to win big games. Like they've got that big game experience. I don't know. Like it's just so funny how the narrative has completely changed, and I am so here for it. God, playoff soccer is just the best. Speaking of playoff soccer, Claudia, did you happen to see what happened north of the border over the weekend?
Snowmageddon, or what do we call it? Snow Clásico.
So it was an iconic snow game. Okay, so Ottawa was facing Cavalry FC in the Canadian Championship final. Okay, and when I tell you, like, there have been snow games, this was like blizzard conditions, like next level. You know, when the snow is so thick they have to like draw in the lines, it was so thick. The snow was just coming hard and fast. But we saw a bicycle kick goal in this snow game, which they are now dubbing, Claudia, an icicle kick. How good? How good? Go down in history. How good is that? How good is that? Shout outs to David Rodriguez, who scored both goals, by the way, for Ottawa in a 2-1 win. So they win their first ever Canadian championship, which is wild.
Amazing. Let me say, if you're going to attempt a bicycle kick, do it in the snow. If you land, it's not going to be as hard as hitting a regular ground.
Little padding. It was beautiful, though. Guys, go to YouTube and watch these highlights. It's so incredible, so fun. But it was just coming down like crazy. But it made me think of other iconic snow games. Have you ever been at a snow game in MLS?
A couple years ago, it was snowing when I was headed to a DC United game, but then it like stopped. I did wear ski pants regardless. I have worn ski pants to many soccer games just because of how cold it is, even if it's not snowing. But I have never gotten to be part of an iconic snow game. But Sooz, I have a feeling that you, with all your years in MLS, have been.
The only like snow game I was at Minnesota's home opener when they opened up Allianz Stadium, and it wasn't snowing, but it had snowed like that
Yeah.
morning and that day. And I remember like I was doing social stuff for MLS and I was literally sitting on like a pile of snow, like on the sidelines because they'd shoveled all the snow. And so it was just like piled up along the periphery and the perimeter. And so I was literally like just like sitting on a pile of snow. And this was like I feel like this was like late April. Like it wasn't like this was February or March. Like this was like late April and I was like what the hell is going on? But it was but it was freezing and there was definitely snow. But I just remember like there have been some iconic snow games. The most recent one that I remember. Do you remember it was RSL facing LAFC in 2024? And I feel like it was like very early in the season, but it was just coming down at RSL and Hugo Lloris had just come over to sign for LAFC and he had like the snow, like his beard,
the icicles hanging.
And I just remember being like, oh, this poor guy.
Regretting everything.
He doesn't know what he signed up for, does he? Like, this is...
Welcome to MLS.
Welcome to MLS, baby.
It's so funny because in our morning footy group chat, Jeff, we shared the Canadian clip of all the goals. Jeff Shreves goes, is that normal over here in North America? We were like, yep, get used to seeing these games.
Welcome to North America.
Welcome.
Jeff Shreves. Yeah, it's cold. We love snow games. They're so fun. Okay, Claudia, we're going to transition now over to a little looking ahead to World Cup 2026 because it's right around the corner. It is November. Thanksgiving's almost here pretty soon. It's Christmas, all the holiday festivities, and then suddenly it's 2026 and here we are. But with that, I'm very excited because one of my favorite things about a World Cup is getting to see all the new kit releases for the different countries because as a fellow kit collector, I feel like you and I both have very strong opinions on kits.
What's a good kit?
What makes a
fun
good kit? Exactly. And so Adidas released a bunch of their World Cup kits. And in general, I have been a huge fan of what Adidas has done for the World Cup teams that they sponsor. So we're going to run through a few of these and our producer Douglas is going to pull up the images and then you and I are going to have our say. So we are starting with Argentina. Claudia Pagán, what say you?
Don't like it.
Thank you.
Don't like it. They look like lightsabers. I don't like the gradient on the side. It feels like it was made in like paint on Microsoft Paint or whatever that little app in little Microsoft is. I don't like it. I don't like the gradient.
I could not agree with you more. I am so on board with this. For me, Argentina has one of the more iconic kits. You know, it's so identifiable because of the light blue stripes.
Yes.
And I feel like they took too many liberties with this. The lightsaber comparison is spot on, by
the
way.
It looks like it. It's hard because you have certain countries that are just so iconic in what they have, like Argentina with the blue stripes that like you can only tweak so much to make each one different. Like seriously, how many times can you do the blue stripes differently? I am going to say it's not growing on me, but maybe I'm just getting used to seeing the jersey more and more, where when I first initially saw it, I was like, I dislike this so much.
Yeah. You know what? I was disappointed.
Yeah, I am. Like this needs to be like the best coming off winning the World Cup.
Exactly.
Like,
you're the reigning champs. Like, yeah.
And
I needed more.
And we're still up in the air whether Messi's playing in the World Cup, right?
Yeah,
so like this could be Messi's literal last time in an Argentina
this is
kit.
What we're going with.
This is it.
I know. It was a letdown for me.
I'm disappointed.
What can I say? Okay, I'm glad we're on the same page here. Okay, next up, we've got Belgium.
I like it. It's very simple. I'm trying to see like what's etched into the jersey.
So it is, there's kind of this like almost like brocade motif like embedded in it. And if you look closely, it's hard to see in this image, but there's a bee, like it almost looks like a retro like B, Belgium, like where the badge
Yeah.
is. So I like this one.
I don't
like
hate
this
it.
one.
I like
I
it.
like this one. And
I'll
I love
take
that.
it.
I feel like the red is just like boom, just very like statement making.
Yeah, it's a nice like a cherry red,
Mhm.
maybe. I like it.
Yep. Okay, so we're
I
here
like
for
it.
Belgium.
We're here for this one.
Next up, Colombia.
I am going to say, just seeing the Belgium one that we saw, it looks like they just kind of copy pasted. Right? Belgium, it looks exactly the same, just different colors. I do like it, but having just seen the Belgium one back to back, it kind of looks like you just copied it, but I do still like it. I think Colombia's jerseys, like they're always one of my favorites.
This is my thing with Colombia. Traditionally, I have loved almost every kit that they have put out. Like it is so vibrant. And this one, it's the yellow. It's so identifiable. Yeah. It's like the yellow with the red and the blue. And they've got, it's a beautiful yellow. It's got the red stripes on the shoulder, and it has this kind of like print embossed in it. I think, almost in the same vein as Argentina, I just wanted a little bit more. Do you remember the ones that they did last year for
white with
Copa,
the three stripes?
Was it for Copa America that they? Oh my God! It was like the throwback. Perfect. Literally, I think it's the most perfect kit that has ever been created. Agreed. And it was. I know it was cream, but it was like the throwback. And this one, like I love the bright, vibrant, but it just it falls a little flat for me for a country that is so colorful. And
agreed.
Yeah.
And has so much culture, like ingrained that into this. This really is just, it feels like a copy paste of Belgium and just switch some colors.
Wanted more, left us wanting more. Okay. Next up, Costa Rica.
See, okay, now that I'm seeing all these back to back, it kind of is copy paste in a way. When you don't have, I like this one. I'll say that. I like the colors. When you don't have a set uniform, like Argentina does with the blue stripes, you can take, I guess, more liberties, or there's less like certainty of like what your jersey is going to look like. So for that, it feels like this one is a copy of the Colombia one, which is also a copy of the Belgium one, just like a little bit of detail in the back.
Rinse, repeat.
And prints, and it's just the stripes on here.
Agreed.
I do like the colors here.
I love the colors. I do love the colors, but again, I expected more. I just expected more from Adidas. Maybe we're going to get it from the next one.
I hope so.
Germany. Yep. I'm here for this. I'm here for
You're
this.
here for this?
Well, I feel like it's a nod to kind of their heritage. Like I feel like I've seen this kit, like the version of this before from Adidas. And I think they're like hearkening back to, some of their editions from maybe like the 90s. And I like that. Like I like the kind of like the stripes coming across the chest.
I'll take it.
I'll take it. It's interesting and it's different from the other ones. And so and I like the collar too. I'm just realizing. Yeah. I like it.
And they switched to Nike after this World Cup year, I think.
Exactly. So this so this would be their last Adidas year kit with Adidas. So I think they had kind of like drawn inspiration from previous kits that they have done, and probably in one of the years that they won the World Cup, I would imagine. And this is I like this one.
I'll take it. It's much more different than the other ones. I'll take it.
Check. We like this one. Next up, Mexico.
This one is taking a little bit to grow on me.
Okay.
I feel like Mexico, along with Colombia, they can get so creative with them. And I feel like I've seen much, much better Mexican. Like Mexico is always up there with Nigeria kits.
Yes.
Never miss. And they're always so creative. And I feel like this one to me is falling flat in a way. And I can't really figure out why.
I kind of agree with you because I feel like I'm just thinking back like to some of their recent kits. Remember the one with like, it was almost like peacock feathers or like some sort of like, it was beautiful. And this one has some sort of like, it's like an Aztec like print in there, which is great and interesting and certainly different than the other ones.
Yeah.
But because they have been been so bold in the past with their kits. I kind of agree
I wanted
that
more.
I wanted a little more. I will say, I am such a sucker for the detailed band around the sleeves and
Sleeves.
then the neckline. And this one has
I
like
do
it looks
love
like
that.
the green, red, and white stripes, and I do
Mm-hmm.
love that detail. And I've always loved their crest. I think their crest is beautiful. But yeah, I'm left me wanting a little more.
Yeah.
Left me wanting a little more. Mexico. Okay, next up, Peru.
This is like Argentina, where it's always they have the iconic. There's
Mm-hmm.
always going to be the red stripe. There's always. I love Peru kits. You know what? I think I'll take this. It's
Yep.
interesting. I hadn't seen Peru's. This is my first time seeing Peru's, because usually it's just a straight red,
Mm-hmm.
whereas this one kind of has like a little like dip up and down.
Yeah.
I'll take this one.
I like. Do you know what I don't like about this one? And I'm getting real nitpicky here, Claudia. I don't like it when the Adidas logo is right in the center.
There is a little something missing on the side where the
Like
stripe
yeah,
starts.
I feel like it's not like there's not balance with this one.
The Adidas logo in the middle is throwing me off. I do like the Peru Federation logo in the middle, though.
That is awesome.
I like the
I
crest
just
in the
kind of
middle.
wish they put the Adidas logo like on the side. I feel like it would just kind
Yeah.
of like balance everything out a little bit more. But like I said, I'm nitpicking. Overall, I do kind of like this one. Again, Peru is always kind of iconic with that
Yeah.
big slash across it. I'm here for this one.
I'm here
give
for
it
this
to 'em.
one.
I'll give it to him. Okay, last one. We've got Japan.
Ooh, see how ever interesting. So this one has everything just down in one
Mm-hmm.
line.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is my first time seeing this one.
Okay, what do you think?
I think it's falling flat for me.
Is it?
Well, it's just stripes. Like Japan is also, it's a culture that has, just like Colombia and Mexico,
Yep.
there's so many like iconic, caricatures, or like their
Mm-hmm.
culture can be depicted in so many beautiful design ways. But this one is falling flat to me, I think.
Yeah, I'm overall like so consistently. I said at the beginning, I literally have always kind of favored the Adidas kits over the Nike
Mm-hmm.
kits in the World Cup. And like, what if this is the year that Nike just blows it out of the water and changes that narrative for me? Because I'm just slightly underwhelmed. I don't hate this one, I will say.
Yeah.
Like there's kind of like I don't know, not a starburst effect on it. And I love the color blue, but
Yeah.
yeah, I just
It's, if you're going to do simple, this is like a beautiful simplicity jersey. And I can
mm-hmm.
see like pairing it with like a nice pair of jeans or like a blue skirt or something. And I like, if I'm not mistaken, the stripes are like a light blue.
Yeah.
I like the colors. It's not terrible, but again, I feel like this is a culture where you can draw so much design
Agreed.
inspiration from.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
I know. I think we both were left wanting more from this whole presentation. I have a question for you though, because
Yes.
you are amazing at styling kits.
Try my
And if you guys
best.
don't follow Claudia on the socials, you're missing out. You should. But you're amazing. Like you do like these like incredible fits, like, and you put together. I feel
Mhm.
like I am so one note when I'm wearing a kit. Like I'm not terribly creative. Like I am such a like jeans and sneakers girl, but you find ways to like implement like a skirt
try.
and really cute boots and just a collared shirt underneath it. So I want you to kind of like put your like look into your crystal ball, your fashion crystal
Ooh.
ball. How do you think we are going to see kits being styled ahead of 2026 World Cup? And keep in mind it's a summer, but this is going to be kind of like a
Ooh.
big. We've seen it. Like soccer culture is completely infiltrating the fashion world right now. And so I feel like you probably have a jump on some of the trends and the way people
Oh
might
my
be
goodness.
styling.
Oh my
We'll
god.
see.
I think that's a good way, because yeah, there's like a bunch of different brands that are like making like their own, like you go to like an Abercrombie or a Hollister or
Oh my God. They
something,
have
and
all like
a
yes.
fake soccer jersey, like that's the thing now. And then I look to see, I'm like, what jersey is that? And then it's just like a regular like brand. So this is like the first World Cup since like wearing soccer jerseys has become a trend Ooh, I think like you can never go, Sooz, you can never go wrong with jeans and a cute pair of
Sure,
tennis shoes.
but
You
it's
can never
boring.
go wrong. It's, if you can find a good pair of jeans, I do always try to do something a little bit different. Like if you can add a skirt, especially if it's going to be hot, especially if
It
it's going to be
is,
hot.
yes.
Okay, you know what?
Okay.
Here it is. It's going to be jean shorts or a skirt with boots.
Okay. Ooh, like what kind of boots?
I'm all for the cowboy boots. I got a pair of Tacova cowboy boots.
Hell yeah.
Wore them last night to the game
Hell
with
yeah.
a blue mini skirt and my San Diego jersey.
Girlfriend, you're
Chef's
talking
kiss.
to the girl who lives in Tennessee now. Like, sign me up. Giddy up all the way.
There you go.
Okay.
I think that's it. We're going to see
right.
skirt or shorts with a cute pair of boots, maybe cowboy boots.
I love this. What
Yes.
about, okay, like what about like accessorizing? Like are we doing hats? Are we like going full cowgirl?
Ooh.
Are we doing a scarf, a bandana situation?
Ooh, because bandanas are huge, aren't they? You know what? Interesting. I feel like, well, you know what? Colombia has, oh my God, Douglas, if you are in the back and listening, Colombia has those specific hats in their culture that they wear.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll definitely see the Colombia jersey and the Mexican national team jerseys and the US jerseys paired with like more of a cowboy boots type of thing.
Okay.
Also, I was waiting to see if we would bring up the Spanish national team jersey. Because if you saw their photo shoot with Lamine Yamal and Aitana Bonmati, they were like in like a, they styled it like in a cowboy and western type of way.
Oh, they did?
Yes.
Get out.
Yes. Like they had like cowboy hats and it was like
my.
in like a little like bar. It was really cool. Like cowboy western.
This is perfect. So I've been in like my cowboy era, I feel like, for a long time. I went to a dude ranch in Montana like 10 years ago and I was like, okay, yep, I'm on board with this. And so I have been, and then Beyonce came out with Cowboy Carter and I was like, okay, cowboy chic is like all the rage now. So this is like the fact that this is perpetuating into the soccer world is just delighting me to no end. I feel very well equipped to be semi-stylish.
Sooz, get your, yeah. I think if we have a Spanish national team jersey, pull it up. But Sooz, get your cowboy boots ready, get your cowboy hat ready, style it with the US kit. It's going to be top tier style icon.
Oh, there it is. Producer Douglas is the best. Look at this. Oh my God, he's straight up wearing a cowboy hat. That is Lamine Yamal wearing. And is that a horse?
On a bull? Oh, the
He's
bull.
on a bull. He is on a bull. This is incredible. Bull. I mean, I guess, yes. Like bull riding is probably a thing. Well, running with the bulls in Spain.
This is so funny.
Gaucho.
This is so great.
Isn't that a Spanish?
Yeah, the gauchos, the like pants.
Do you know what? I have a gaucho bag too. Oh, it's all coming together.
Western. Honestly, I think the Western look is going to be like the thing that we see the most.
See, Claudia, this is why you are a genius.
Since I got you.
You are the fashion guru of all things soccer. Truly, though, I love the way you style kits, and this has made me incredibly excited for World Cup 2026. Great stuff. All right, let's transition to, as we mentioned, it's another international break, which means that we have more World Cup qualifiers on tap for everyone. So we're just going to kind of like go through quickly and kind of give you sort of an overview of sort of the main storylines to watch for. And we're going to start in UEFA. Okay, so only England, Claudia, only England have like 100% solidified their spot. So there's still a lot going on. And right now it looks like the heavy hitters, like the Germany's, France, Spain, Portugal, they're all on track to qualify as their group winners. So there's 11 spots remaining, and then there's 4 additional spots after that through the group runner-off playoffs. But the big story, have you heard of a little place called the Faroe Islands?
I have not. Tell me more about this. Tell me about this.
So the Faroe Islands are, I think they're like a province or a territory of Denmark. Population like 54,000 people. Like there is, I think the city of Hoboken, New Jersey is bigger than
Faroe
all
Islands.
of the Faroe Islands. So they could potentially qualify for their first ever World Cup, which is wild. So in the last international window, they ended up beating the Czech Republic.
Wow,
which is like
it's huge.
No joke. They beat the Czech Republic, mind you, at home, but still 2-1. Okay, so they have a game against Croatia, which
won't be easy.
Croatia's good. Croatia's really good. Okay, they were in a World Cup final in 2018. Like, this is semifinals. They're very good. So if they beat Croatia and Czechia lose at home to Gibraltar, which I don't know much about Gibraltar, but I have a feeling that Czechia is probably favored in that one.
Yeah.
Then they would qualify for the playoff. But I just think it is so astounding that a little teeny tiny nation, the Faroe Islands,
teeny tiny,
are in this position that they could even qualify.
And
so
you know,
like, that's the stuff I love about
that's the stuff I love. And like, there's this debate about like the increased amount of World Cup spots and how even in the next one, it could be even bigger. And like, the question is, does it kind of dilute the World Cup? Because then you have so many of these smaller countries coming in. But you think about, because I'm still waiting for Puerto Rico to make the World Cup. And like, it allows for these small islands to be able to have the opportunity for that. And I think for me, that outweighs the debate of, does it dilute the competition? Now it's too many group stage games, blah, 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 blah. Like, these are the stories that I live for. This is, and for the people, like, I can't imagine what it's like for them to be able to see their country represented in the biggest stage in sports, the World Cup.
Sports. Incredible. I think we're all going to be Faroe Islands fans over the next few weeks. So let's go Faroe Islands. All right, over to Africa, where we've got 9 teams already guaranteed to compete. They've already qualified. Also, shouts again to the first ever appearance for Cape Verde. We're very excited for Cape Verde.
Biggest population in the States is in Boston, randomly.
It is incredible, like, how much I have learned about these like random little nations over the last couple of months. Just like, what? I had no idea. So Algeria, Cape Verde, Egypt, Ghana, Ivory Coast, Morocco, Senegal, South Africa, and Tunisia. Check. All have qualified. So now we've got 4 best runner-ups in a tournament, and then there's a final. And then the winner of that will play in the FIFA playoff tournament. So we've got Nigeria versus Gabon and Cameroon versus Congo. So that's what's happening in Africa. So we'll see. And I feel like, Nigeria, shouldn't you have punched your ticket already, Nigeria?
We shouldn't be waiting to see if they're still in it. That's one that should be in. It's
a little eyebrow raising. So that's one to watch in Africa. All right. So in CONCACAF, we've got straight up dogfight here. Okay. So Jamaica and Honduras are basically they're probably going to qualify. Okay. But when you look at Group A, it's wide open. So Suriname and Panama are both fighting for automatic qualification. And then there's Guatemala, hey, I'm still in it. I'm still here. So Suriname face El Salvador. And then Panama face Guatemala. And it's literally anything could kind of happen. So that's huge. So those are if I were gonna tell people to watch matches with serious implications, I would watch the Suriname, El Salvador, Panama, Guatemala. Also Suriname, what? Mind you, geography is not my strong suit, Claudia, and I wholeheartedly admit that here. But I was Suriname. I had to look it up. I had to look where it is and what it is. And I believe this would be their first time ever.
See, I love this.
So it's crazy. But Panama, how is, it's crazy.
What, you feel like they should be in already?
Yes, how is Suriname, a team like Panama that has, been pretty formidable on the international stage,
Panama freaking up against Mexico, up against the U.S., I agree. Panama's captain, Annabelle Godoy, is on San Diego, and I was just talking to my husband yesterday after the game, because we were watching all the post-game interviews. That's one thing my husband does. He listens to all of Mikey's press conferences, and he looks back at all the highlights, and he listens to like all the player interviews afterwards. I was like, how is Godoy? I was like, is he like a level-headed guy? And he was like, he's incredible. Such a level-headed guy, like so good with everybody. Like he speaks so well. Like, and so this is the captain of Panama. And I'm just like, oh, they deserve more. So I hope to see them in the World Cup.
Agreed. So that's kind of what we're looking at this window.
So much at stake.
I know. It's in a way, it's kind of nice that the US are just like, yep, we're already in. But at the same time, we're still figuring things out, Claudia. We're still got a lot to figure out on the US side of things. So with that, let's chat a little on the U.S. men's national team, because during this international break, we've got a couple of upcoming friendlies coming up against Paraguay and Uruguay on Saturday, this coming Saturday, and then next Tuesday in Philadelphia, and then in Tampa. They released the roster for this camp. There were, as there has been in the Pochettino era, some interesting selections and some interesting omissions. Worth noting, Tyler Adams was included in this camp, but he had to withdraw over the weekend. He was involved in a collision in Bournemouth's latest match, where I think he and another player knocked heads, and so he continued playing. Yeah. They think he's fine, but it's more precautionary, which is totally fine. But also, this is his second window that he's missing because he missed the last one because of the birth of his baby. So we're running out of time, Claudia. There's not a lot of soccer left to be played. And I'm like,
I'm worried for the U.S. because, you look at the other list of players who aren't here in this camp and even in the October camp. A lot of them are due to injuries. I think now, who is it? Johnny Cardoso, Pulisic now, Alejandro Zendejas, Weah. A lot of those are injuries, injury related. And I'm like, after this, it's only March. I know. After this, we only have March until the World Cup.
I know. We have not fielded our best
11
ever. When is this going to happen? And that's I'm starting to get the
I'm so sweaty. I'm getting nervous.
I do. I get a little sweaty when I think about it. And then Weston McKennie is not included in this camp, and we don't really know why. And Anthony Robinson is still not fit, and I'm like, when is this going to happen? It's just, there are still many questions to be answered, but we're gonna just trying to stay positive, trying to work with what we got. So a few months ago, I don't think it was the last one, I think it was 2 international breaks ago, we had Matt Doyle on Kickback Committee, and we did a RIZZ rating with him. Can you imagine how that which I thought was hysterical, because to his credit, he actually knew what RIZZ was, and I was like, good for you, man. Which was great. But I thought it would be fun to kind of do a little bit of a RIZZ meter with a few of the guys that have been called up into this camp. And I just want to get your sense of because I feel like I have my list in mind of the guys who are coming in with a little, maybe feeling themselves just a little bit. And curious to see if you're on the same page with me, who you might add to this list. And then there's one that we're going to talk about, which, I'm excited to dive into. But we're going to start off with a guy who I believe is entering into this international break with RIZZ up the wazoo, and that is Matt Freese.
100%.
Yeah. Yep. I think
Matt Turner isn't in this camp.
I know. How do you feel about that?
I'm not surprised, because it's felt like Matt Freese has just... I think this is the first international camp where it feels solidified that Matt Freese is a starting goalkeeper. It doesn't help that the Revs, the New England Revolution, and Matt Turner didn't make the postseason play. I've heard, reports that he's training with Palace.
Interesting.
That Matt Turner's maybe training with Palace.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Is it Palace? But anyways, it's not a surprise. I mean, are you shocked to not see? Maybe.
I was a little bit, just to not get invited. I understand. So Matt Freese, the guy, he's clearly established himself as
Yeah.
Poch's number one choice, and he's earned it, like based on his performances alone, 100%. That's why I think he's entering with like a very high RIZZ level in this camp. He was up for goalkeeper of the year in MLS. He's gotten NYCFC into the conference semis. Like he's coming off a spectacular season with his club. He has had big performances for his country. Done. Like, yes, like I feel very comfortable being like Matt Freese is our number one keeper. I just think that not having Matt Turner there is questionable when you look at like the likes of like no disrespect to a Celentano, but like how much big game experience do you have, my guy? Like I'm like Matt Turner has been a keeper in big important games in Europa League matches. Like I just wonder if they're going to miss maybe some sort of like veteran presence. I mean, God forbid Matt Freese goes down. Like
you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You never know.
I don't know. I feel like I would feel more comfortable with a guy like Matt Turner coming off the bench. But
then the question is, because there's been lots of exceptions randomly in some of these camps, and you go, okay, well, why is Pochettino leaving out these players that you think would definitely be in the camp? And then you're like, okay, well, is he trying out new guys? So then you go, okay, does he like Matt Turner, but he wants to get the other guys a bit more involved?
Could
it's
be.
like, I'm so confused every time we get a new call-up for another international window, because I don't really always understand the reasoning.
I know. You and me both, sister. All right. Another guy that I think is rizzing, if you will, Alex Freeman. I feel like Alex, this kid is just like kind of he's sort of cruising right now. I think he was just voted MLS Young Player.
And I think he made it to the MLS Best Starting 11. Did he not?
Did he make it to the Best 11 too?
I think he did.
Okay.
He did.
His RIZZ is off the charts right now, this kid. And the thing that I like about Alex Freeman is that he's so athletic. Like he is just like, I mean, the guy, he gets it done on both sides of the ball, which I think is really important, especially in the way like Pochettino plays. And especially if they continue to play with a back three, he is so effective at that wing back position. And so I just like, I see him, like, I think Poch really, really likes him. And I think Poch is kind of like, I don't know, just sort of grooming him to be, because if you think about it, like on that right side, like Serginho Dest used to be that guy, right? I know he's in this camp, but like he's been injured. We don't really know, like we're not sure how that's going to look. Like, does he still fit? And I don't think, like, Poch hasn't had a very good look at him. So it's like Alex Freeman has a real opportunity to just kind of cement his place here.
The good thing with Pochettino is he doesn't care what your name is. He doesn't care how many call-ups you had before with the U.S. men's national team before he came in. Like, he is giving, it seems like everybody an opportunity. Like, young guys really seem like they have an opportunity. So that's a good thing. That's one big positive. My light over here keeps dying. So if I look a little bit darker, don't mind me. My light keeps dying.
You're always glowing, Claudia. Lucky gal. Okay, what about Aiden Morris? Because I'm super high on this kid.
I think this is a good addition to the RIZZ list here.
I love Aiden
Middlesbrough.
Morris. I love him. He's also been really, really good for Middlesbrough. You know, he's one of these guys like in the championship that's not only like, he has clearly like earned the trust. Like he basically plays in every game. He's like an integral part of that starting 11. He had an assist in his last game. I just think that like those consistent minutes at that level, and like we've not seen it always translate for Pochettino, the guys that play in the championship. But I just feel like Aiden Morris has that little extra, like, he's got RIZZ, man. Like he's got like a little bit of like there's a cockiness about him, but I love it, kind of thing.
I think the championship is such a good place for players to develop. So like my husband worked with Derby County, he worked with Sheffield United, like he prefers championship over Premier League. Actually, there's just so much chaos. You never know who's going to win. Every game can go whichever way. And I mean, like if an American is good enough to play Prem, go to Prem. But I would rather see one of our American guys, if they are going over to England, get a starting spot in a championship team over like sitting on the bench in a Premier League team, whatever his position is. Like, I feel like the championship is such a good place to continue developing, and that's where we want to see our Americans go. One place.
I could not agree with you more. I think it's unfortunate, like, that there's almost been, I don't know, it's just sort of this like negative viewpoint about like, oh, well, it's only the championship.
Yeah.
And to your point, it's like, no, like, there is really like, it's really hard. Like, it's a really, really difficult league to play in. And there are so many games. And there's some really, really talented players as well. And so I think it can kind of like, you know, maybe in the eyes of some of these managers that aren't so privy to it, like they can look down on it. But it really, some of our strongest players that's where they've gotten their minutes, and I 100% agree. I love watching the championship.
Yeah,
it is chaos.
Luke's I love it.
Right, it is nuts. It's freaking bananas, and it's so good. Another guy I think is just sort of oozing RIZZ right now is Folarin Balogun, who coming off.
So happy to see.
Jesus, how long did it take though? I will fully admit, Claudia, I was like, I'm over it. Yeah. I'm over the Balogun thing. Like I kind of like basically wrote him off. And then the last two windows, he's been arguably our best players. And I think it was premature for me to do that. I can look back now and say it, that, you know, he wasn't fully fit. You know, he was dealing with a very lingering, I think it was a shoulder injury, and then there was another injury. And so he just was not fit. But seeing him fit, watching him, I mean, he plow for it, but then also watching him like get back and defend. Like, he was all over the place. He just scored his first Champions League goal last week for Monaco. I know. And so like, when you remember Jonathan David last year in Champions League, like all of a sudden the guy starts like scoring goals in Champions League. And then it's just like, I just feel like that is such a good barometer of where a player is at. And for me, like, I don't think there's anybody riding higher than Balogun in that striker position for us in our striker pool. Like, we need him to stay healthy. We need him to stay healthy.
And that's the hardest thing also, is just like, we're still so far away from the World Cup. Like, I never know where I want a player to peak, right? Because you want them to maybe peak towards like March of next year. But then I'm like, okay, well, I don't want you to like suck right now. Like Christian Pulisic, you can say whatever you want about him not having been in the US over the summer. I agreed with what he did. And I think I'm in the little percentage who is okay with what he did. But the way that he started off with AC Milan, like I have so many thoughts. I think these guys are playing too many games with their club teams, and now all these international breaks ahead of the World Cup. I don't know. It's difficult. It's so hard. It's hard. And listen, all these players that we're speaking about, like, knock on wood, but you don't know what injuries are going to come in just a couple months.
No, you certainly don't. And I think, again, like, I'll just go back to like what we started talking about at the top, was that like, we just haven't seen the best 11 together yet. Crazy. And these are two like formidable opponents in Uruguay and Paraguay. Like, you know, you have to utilize these matches as a proper warm-up for a World Cup to see where you at with some of the world's strongest teams. And it just feels like we have been auditioning starting 11s for a very long time. And at this point, my hope would have been that Pochettino would have been very clear as to who he wanted, because we're running out of time. And again, there will be other windows, but like, and maybe it'll all come together, but it would have been nice to have like 2 or 3 windows of these guys like together, seeing how they play together. So that's where I'm at with all of it. So now I'm going to ask you about the RIZZ rating of a player who, a very hot button topic in U.S. soccer circles, Claudia Pagán. I think you know who I'm talking about here. Mr. Gio Reyna.
Certain
Gio Reyna got a call-up, despite the fact that he is barely playing at Mönchengladbach in the Bundesliga. He has 1 start all season. He's hardly getting any minutes off the bench, and yet here we are. Is there any RIZZ left for Gio Reyna? Are we scraping at the barrel?
I think we can give him a little bit.
Okay.
What's in his favor, I guess, a silver lining with all the injuries is that he's able to get the call up. I mean, like I've seen lots of fans be like, okay, well, is Gio Reyna only called up because we have so many other injuries? So then that leaves lots of spots open in the squad. But also like, it's so difficult because obviously your national team coach wants to see you get lots of minutes with your club. And he goes from Dortmund to Mönchengladbach. You'd expect him to get more minutes at a club like that, and he's not. So then you go, what more can be done to get you more minutes in the club level?
Yeah. I mean, I guess I kind of thought he was just sort of on the outs when it came to this U.S. men's national team player pool. So I was surprised. I've said on this podcast, like when Gio Reyna was fit and when he was getting regular minutes, I thought arguably he was our most talented player. So there's an upside, right? Like there's we know that this kid can play. We know that he has talent. But for me, it's like it's almost to like the mental aspect of all of this, because I feel like there has been so much noise around this player, and part of me feels bad for him that he has had to just kind of like navigate these crazy waters of, you know, the stories of his parents and all the things, and you know, the focus wasn't always necessarily on what he was doing on the pitch, and then he was dealing with the injury thing. So for me, it's like this player with like incredible amount of upside, but I don't know that you certainly can't rely on him being an integral part of this U.S. men's national team. I wonder how, I'm very curious to see like how Pochettino uses him. If this was like an olive branch, if this was a desperation thing, like you said, like maybe it's just there were so many injuries, like he felt like he had to. Is this the last chance saloon for Gio Reyna? Like, I kind of think it might be. I mean, if he does well though, good.
Do you see him getting called up in March? But then also there's so much time between now and March. Like maybe he does super well this international break, doesn't play at the club level, and then what do you do in March?
What if he's still not getting minutes? Like you can't, there's nothing to go by. And Poch has literally said like that, you know, like our guys need to be playing. So this is where it's just it's a very big head scratching moment for me. Look, like I said, Gio Reyna is talented, and I think that when he was healthy, he was one of our best. I would love to see him regain that form. I just don't know. It doesn't seem like it's going to happen because he's not playing. He's not playing. And I don't know how much of an impact you can make when
you're not getting consistent
minutes. On a national team when you're not getting minutes. And then you're kind of inserted into this. Also, like, what's the vibe going to be? Like,
that's the thing. I feel like with media these days, coaches have to think about so many things surrounding a player when they call them up. Are they playing at a club level? What do they bring to the international level? Are they a leader? Are they a guy who brings, if you are a player, it doesn't matter how good you are, if you bring negative energy yourself, or maybe if you have lots of stories surrounding you, you can be replaced. And that comes to anybody. Like, let's say I'm a bad person to work with at CBS. Like, nobody would want to work with me, maybe no matter how good I am. Like,
Claudia is the best coworker in the world.
I hope I bring lots of sunshine and good stuff. Thanks, Sooz. You were the best to work with too. Miss you. But like, if you are not a good person to work with, it doesn't matter how good you are on the field, like, you can unfortunately always be replaced. So like, no matter how good Gio Reyna may be, there's a lot of other stuff, unfortunately, that surround him if he is with the national team. So, like, I feel like Poch has to take that into consideration as well.
I agree.
He probably does.
I agree. It is going to be a very interesting international window for the United States. All right, Claudia, are you ready? Are you ready to talk about Puerto Rico?
I am.
Okay, so this is very exciting. Our 50 States of Soccer tour is taking us to a U.S. territory this week. Puerto Rico. Yes, we firmly established within the committee that being a U.S. territory absolutely counts for this tour. So Puerto Rico is up.
Yes.
And nobody knows the soccer scene in Puerto Rico better than one Claudia Pagán, our beautiful Puerto Rican princess. Okay. So for people that don't know, like how big is soccer culture in Puerto Rico? Because when I don't know that I would necessarily. I grew up a huge baseball fan, and there were always a lot of
Puerto
wonderful
Ricans.
Baseball players from Puerto Rico. So I almost associated Puerto Rico with baseball more so than soccer. But is that a myth? Am I wrong?
So Puerto Rico, like I grew up with my mom telling me that like the biggest sports in Puerto Rico were like the three Bs: baseball, boxing, and then basketball a little bit. Like basketball has always been bigger on the island, at least. I don't think you'll find lots of like players, like Puerto Rican players in the NBA. But like on the island, it's huge. They're huge in like the fighting scene. And then baseball, obviously you see so many Puerto Ricans, you see lots of Caribbeans in MLB. Like that is their thing. And you go around the island and you see lots of basketball courts and lots of baseball fields. And you've never really seen a lot of soccer fields. And that has been changing in the past, shall I say, maybe like 3 to 5 years. I've seen a really big shift in them putting a lot of weight behind the soccer scene. And I would love to speak with someone eventually to know why the heck, like, what clicked? What made you guys want to like start investing more in soccer? Is it like, I'm not exactly sure why they started investing more, but they have. And it's absolutely amazing. And like, there's a player, why am I forgetting his name? I remembered it. Oh, Jeremy De Leon, who he's on Real Madrid's roster.
Yes.
He's with the Puerto Rican international team. He was on Real Madrid's roster. He's still on it right now. He's on loan with Hercules, who is in Spain.
Okay.
But he was with Real Madrid all of last year and the year before. He traveled with them 2 years ago to the Champions League final. He played under Carlo Ancelotti. Carlo Ancelotti even spoke about him. He thinks he's like a really gifted player. Of course, it is really hard to break into this Real Madrid roster. So like he hasn't been able to play like really many minutes with them. He's been on loan a lot to like their lower league teams and stuff. But you see, I mean, how incredible for a little island of Puerto Rico to have a player come out of their island and play for the biggest club in the world and be able to play under Carlo Ancelotti when Carlo was there. Like,
that's crazy.
Absolutely amazing. There's another player, Leandro Antonetti, if I'm not mistaking his last name. He also plays overseas. I think he's in Spain right now. Shout out to his family and his mom. His mom and I follow each other on Instagram.
Aww.
I think it's her one, or she's got maybe like 3 sons. So it's Leandro and 2 other ones, if I'm not mistaken. And like at least 2 of them play for the Puerto Rican national team. So she is like raising a family of soccer players here. They've got all the skills. And then you see a lot of Puerto Rican national team players. They're playing in USL Championship. One of them was on the other side of the Naples-Knoxville matchup, the goalkeeper for Naples. A bunch of players on Miami FC. So it's growing. It's really growing on the island. The federation just opened up their new offices for the first time. They have like a designated Puerto Rican Football Federation offices in Puerto Rico. It's such a good sign. They have, I don't know too much about the Puerto Rican Federation president, Ivan, I can't remember his last name at the moment, Ivan, and he's a young guy and he's investing like so much time and energy, and you can tell that he really cares about the federation and about growing. And they just had a friendly in the last international break against Argentina.
Okay.
Yes, they got whooped like 6-0, but it's Argentina. It's a World Cup winners.
No shame.
To have the experience like how many people, like not everybody in the world can say that they played against the best player in the world, Lionel Messi. Messi played the entire game.
Incredible.
He played.
Incredible.
Let me just say, Messi didn't score against Puerto Rico. He assisted, but he never scored.
Okay.
He didn't score a goal.
That's not nothing, Claudia. That's not nothing.
It's not easy. It's not easy.
Amazing.
So to have that experience to play against the best national team in the world, some of the best players in the world, the best in Lionel Messi, like absolutely amazing that they were able to make that happen in Miami. So obviously like the fan base for both sides were incredible. So, and then I think they just announced that they're going to do like 1,000 mini pitches in Puerto Rico around the island to continue investing. So it's incredible.
That's
it's
amazing.
Incredible to see.
Do you see, like, when you go to Puerto Rico, do you see people playing soccer? Like, it's like they're...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You see people playing soccer. You see them like revamping these fields into what were maybe like just baseball fields or like really old, and they like redone them up to make them really nice pitches. Lots of people like, I have a friend who is part of like, just like people having fun playing like pickup soccer. And so they're like creating like little pickup soccer leagues and stuff. Like people are just doing it for fun as well. Not even just like playing for the national team, but just like having fun. And like that wasn't a thing, just playing like pickup soccer randomly and like putting a lot of effort to it. So it's amazing. It's like everyone at every level is really getting into it. And then you see for the federation, like Puerto Rico, we might not be known for soccer, but we are known for our music. We are known for our music. Daddy Yankee, the king of reggaeton.
Hello.
He's invested into the Puerto Rican national team. He was with them when they played Argentina. Did a whole like that's exposure as well.
Huge. Like couldn't you see like Bad Bunny like buying the team?
I am freaking waiting for it to happen.
Like I just feel like that's gonna happen. Like it's just
it has to.
Yes. Doesn't it? It just makes sense. It just makes sense. And I'm telling, like, if that happens, look out. Like, soccer in Puerto Rico just suddenly, like, completely on the map.
That's so many more eyeballs. Like people who aren't even Puerto Rican will like really care even more about Puerto Rican soccer. Bad Bunny.
Let's go.
Sooz with
Let's go. Bad Bunny. He's so great. I'm so stoked for the Super Bowl for that reason. That's it.
Listen, Sooz, we interviewed Chris Armas earlier this year, and he's Puerto Rican, and he played a couple games with the Puerto Rican Federation, or national team. So I brought my little Puerto Rico flag. And after the interview was done, when I was wrapping up, I couldn't find the flag to take back home. Just a couple weeks ago, Bob Scott, our amazing jib operator, he found the flag, and my Puerto Rican flag is now hanging in the CBS Golazo Network studios.
I love that.
There's a Puerto Rican flag in our studios. See, let me just say that representation.
You are literally spreading the word, Claudia Pagán. Like the Golazo Network is now officially Puerto Rico strong.
Freaking love it.
Let's go. This is great. Okay, so Chris, he would definitely be on a 5-a-side though. Because we're gonna have at the happy hour episode on Thursday, we have to like put together like the 5-a-side, the scouting report. And so, have you been to a soccer bar? Is there a good soccer bar in Puerto Rico that you know?
I haven't been to one. I need to figure that out.
Yeah, we'll have to dive in. But guys, anyone listening, if you have been to Puerto Rico, if you know the soccer scape there and know sort of like the hallowed grounds, the best soccer bar, the best players, like let us know.
Let us know
on the socials, and we will chat all about it at our happy hour on Friday. Claudia, before we go, I have to ask you: do you watch the Great British Bake Off?
I'm going to admit that I haven't kept up with the season, but my husband binge watch all of them. I just watched the final with him a couple days ago.
You watched the final.
Sooz. My husband was giving me all his thoughts throughout the show. Who's the lady that won? What's her name?
Jasmine.
He said, if Jasmine doesn't win, I'm never watching this show again.
Luke knows what's up, man. Luke knows what's up.
But listen, I haven't kept up with the entire season, but I watched the whole final episode. I had a little bit of a doubt that she was going to win because she messed up on that last one. Was it the last one? She messed up on the second one. The little macaroon or the little tower. Madeline's.
The Madeline's were terrible. And that's like the worst she's ever done on a challenge.
It was terrible. Yes. And I thought because, who's the guy that won the challenge? Tom, because he did that and his sheet cake, the last challenge, was so good. The mossy stuff, I thought he was going to win. And I was like, I was prepping for it.
Same. I was like, oh my gosh. And then I was like, no, they're teasing us. There's no way Jasmine is not going to win this. She's been Starbaker 5 times. Like, this can't happen. But yes, Jasmine was crowned the winner of the Great British Bake Off. Deservedly so. I was a little gutted for Aaron, who like just kind of like knew that he
bombed all of them.
So he looked like he was gonna cry, and I was like, oh God. But you know what's so nice about this show is that David and I have talked about this. Like, I started watching this during COVID, basically, like just kind of like I needed that like good, warm hug kind of show. Like Tom, who, as you pointed out, like could have won like the final because he did so well. They were so overjoyed for Jasmine and so happy for her and like celebrating her. And I was just like, it just feels so good. It's just like, oh, it makes me like emotional. Like, people are just so lovely to each other, and we need more of that.
They were all so good
right now.
That's what you need.
Amen. No, it was a wonderful season. Jasmine was amazing. Congrats to her. And I'm really sad that I have to wait another year for a new season of Great British Bake Off.
They film it like April or May.
Why does it take so long for them to put out the episodes?
And then did you know, so that like finale, maybe they just fill out all the other episodes. I'm not sure. But is every episode the 3 challenges?
Yes, every episode.
So the first 2 challenges are filmed one day and the third one is filmed on a second day. But they make them wear the same. Have you guys talked about it? Do you know that? They make them wear the same outfit and do the same makeup.
Do you know what? I haven't even like really clocked that, but I guess that makes sense because like sometimes the weather will be like they'll give them like 4.5 hours. I'm like, God, they've been baking for like 8 hours today. Like,
I realized
now it makes sense.
The showstopper in the finale, the judges came over to Jasmine and they were like, good morning, Jasmine, blah, 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 blah. I was like, why are we saying good morning? We're on the 3rd challenge. So I looked it up.
Look at you. I didn't even know. Like, I was just
the more you know.
They're really
there's no way they could do all 3 in one day. That's why I was like skeptical.
Yep. There you go. And you're right. The weather does affect.
It changes.
It's raining and it's like, it can affect the bake. You just don't know. Maybe your dough isn't rising the way it should. It's very finicky. As somebody who doesn't bake a lot.
I don't bake at all.
It stresses me out, but it's such a fun show. Look at you coming prepared to talk Great British Bake Off. You are the best. Claudia, it was so amazing having you.
Thanks for having me, Sooz.
Kickback Committee. This has been so much fun. I adore you, and I am so excited about all the amazing work that you're doing at CBS Golazo Network. We can't wait to watch you on the sidelines for the NWSL playoffs. It's going to be so much fun, and obviously, wishing Luke and San Diego the very best of luck in the MLS Cup playoffs.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. So and good luck to you. And
thank you. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, we appreciate you. Make sure you check out all the latest episodes of Kickback Committee, Soccer Wise. Subscribe to our newsletters and join us for happy hour this Thursday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern on our YouTube channel. Thanks so much, everybody. We will see you next time.